Omid Scobie appears to have finally admitted that he did write the names of the so-called royal racists in an early version of Endgame. The Sussex's favoured royal reporter once again insisted on blaming a Dutch publisher for the scandal that has led to Buckingham Palace considering legal action. But he's now revealed translators in the Netherlands were sent an early, uncleared manuscript that was never updated and had not been pored over by his legal team. Curious that. This troubling revelation comes amid reports that Meghan's Hollywood relaunch is not going according to plan and may already have been scuppered by the backlash over Endgame. Despite recently signing with a Los Angeles mega agent, experts suggest the scandal may well have tarnished her reputation and made her too hot to handle. Now, I find it interesting that Omid Scobie has been, he said in his statement, unbeknownst to me. So he had to cover himself by saying, it's still not my fault, even though somehow the Dutch translators got names in the manuscripts. And no one else got names, only they did. So either he had it in his mind to publish the names in the first scripts, or he expected the legal team to take it out upon further review. I don't know. He's clearly just a pathological liar, and he should be paid no mind. But I don't think that actually this book is as negative to the Sussexes as it's being claimed. I'm surprised by their silence, because after all, the whole reason why this whole royal racist story has blown up is because of the Netflix documentary and because of the Oprah Winfrey. Oh my God, they questioned the color of our mixed race baby and all of that. So I'm surprised they didn't want to keep the saga going. They must have enough money in their coffers. But to say that this has affected Meghan's relaunch or her agent dropping her is ridiculous. As much as it pains me to say she's bank, she is, anything she touches, there will be publicity following it. You would be mad to drop her as a client. She could literally fart in a bag and sell it and make millions of pounds.
But you know, she is condemned to being a sort of reality star. She could never be an actor again. You know, no one would ever believe her because she's always out there. You couldn't present her as the next James Bond, for example. She would just be unbelievable.
Janet Bond.
Even the baddie. She's just so out there all the time. She's condemned to just reality TV for the rest of her natural.
That's not actually the case. There's talk of her running for the presidency.
Which is even worse.
Well, but you know, that could be in the pipeline.
And also, let's face it, I mean, you know, you look back, you know, there was so much sniffing when Ronald Reagan got in as being president of the United States. And everybody went, what can an actor do? Well, he can act. He can do really well, as long as he's got all the right people around him. All I would say from this shenanigans with Endgame is that you do wonder if they've got the right advisors behind them, whether they've got the right people saying, you should do this or you should do that. Because actually, if they'd have come out a bit, I mean, well, unless they actually did collude, of course, with Mr. Scobie. Is it Scobie?
Scobie.
Okay.
Scobie.
For some reason, I always want to call him Scooby. But the point is that if it was so odd, wasn't it, when you look back at the fact that this racism thing was so big at the time, and then it kind of just disappeared and never came out in Spare,
became unconscious bias, and it kind of
then essentially just sort of fell off somewhere and just kind of got smudged away, and so you do wonder if they should have actually come out and say something, because particularly when I've said it before, but their currency is being part of the royal family, and the further they retire, the less they are close to the warming flame.
I agree that I thought they would have come out and distanced themselves from it. But when the royal family were being told by the public, Meghan's being treated unfairly by your British press, there's racist overtones, there's misogyny, etc., the royal family didn't put out statements. And the royal family have in the past put out statements for other people, but they didn't say anything about Meghan. So maybe Meghan and Harry feel, why should we come out and defend the royal family who didn't defend us?
No, it's not about defending the royal family. It's about actually
distancing themselves.
I think it's because they look childish. Because the thing is, claims of racism are extremely damaging. And the thing is, if they knew for sure that someone had made those racist comments, because Meghan wasn't there when these comments were made allegedly, it was only Harry, I think it would have been important for the person to own up to it. Because now, from what we're seeing as the public, there were no racist comments made. Because even if JJ and I had a kid, they were like, what does the kid look like? Let alone if I had a kid with, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's not rare to question what a child of a interracial.
But here's what we're saying though. But we're interpolating things here. Meghan and Harry have not come out and said something was racist. Omid Scobie has. So why would Meghan's star be tarnished because of a comment?
Because he wrote their autobiography.
But he didn't write the autobiography. This is great for Scobie because he's got so much relevance from this. He's dominated the headlines. He's got no other story to tell, no other book to write. So he's going to keep this going and going and going. It's a complete non-story when you look at what's going on in the rest of the world, but we're still talking about it. So he is the ultimate winner out of it.
Well, ultimately, but his book has been like dropping and dropping. It's had incredibly poor sales in this country. And I don't think in America people particularly care about Omid Scobie in this book. The new agents that Meghan has, William, Morris, Endeavour, it's easier to name people who are not signed to them than people who are. They have the biggest celebrities in the US. All you got to do to make her famous, put her in a room with The Rock, put her in a room with Mariah Carey, put her in a room with any of the celebrities. She's going to do just fine.
She is bank. She is money.